What's going on, good people? It is your girl, Ray P. Welcome back to another episode of the We Got Y'all podcast. Of course, I am not alone. I am joined by my road dog friend, confidant, co conspirator, ace, all the things, all the things that surmise being a ride or die, good ass friend, have your back through the
I mean,
trenches, trying to go ass nigga, Kyron, aka K Rich. What's going on, Rich?
hey man, hell of an intro. I appreciate you. You already know, man. We ride at dawn. Matter of fact, we don't wait till dawn for Ray P. We ride in general.
Just
Whenever it's
period.
time to ride, we ride. You know what I mean? That's my dog. Shout out to Ray P, man. Happy to be here with you, of course.
For
If you're
sure.
watching on YouTube, we got some new digs in a sense. We're trying out something new. You'll soon see why. But yeah, just trying to mess around a little bit, see an upgrade. We already said 2025 is the year of growth and
For sure.
expansion and the whole nine. Shout out to StreamYard, which served us great and was
Yes.
so familiar. But we're gonna see what's going on here and go from there. But we're not here to talk about what kind of studio we're using to record. We're here to talk about the agency
Yes.
on Paramount Plus via Showtime. Rachel, we are here at episode 8. And you know what? Authenticity, man. I didn't even look up who directed or none of that this episode. Um, so while I look that up, I want to get your. I just thought about it, like you know what? I didn't even do all that, but it's cool.
Not your notes
Tell you
looking
what,
there.
Grant Heslov actually directed this. We already know we talk about it every week. Jez and John Henry Butterworth are the creators and writers for the show. Um, Incredible cast. We won't go over the entire cast, but incredible cast that's a part of this. And synopsis of episode 8: Truth will set you free. A botched recruitment, a decoded play, and a promising lead shake things up. Tensions rise as stakes are clarified and moral dilemmas surface. Meanwhile, an unexpected revelation threatens to change everything. That's saying a mouthful without really saying anything at all, but they are absolutely correct. There was a lot of stuff going on, and as we get closer to the finale, more secrets are being unveiled. Rachel,
Yeah.
what were your initial thoughts on episode 8?
You know what? I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I still stand by last week being my favorite of the season so far, but this was a really, really, really good follow up. We learned some things. It clarified that Poppy is grown, even though I still want to make her a child, but I guess she's grown.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sammy, I still don't love her. I am surprised that she stood her ground, but I guess love of country uh trumps love love, you know. So shout out to her for riding with the with her people. And I have a different outlook on Usman. We had kind of hinted at it maybe about 2 episodes ago that he is not who we thought, that he does care for Dr. Sammy. I'm of the ilk, maybe he's in love with her. Like, yes, he's a handler, this and the third, but maybe also he's secretly in love with that lady.
There was a lot more care, a lot
A
more concern
lot
and
more
care.
care. Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the response I was expecting from Osmond when he found out.
Not at all. Not at all. And with that care, we find out that that Martian does finally confess to Sammy that he works for the CIA. That didn't go the way he thought it was going to go either.
Hey, listen. Let me tell you something just from the male perspective.
Hmm.
From the male perspective, there is something that's funny when you Martian thought he was putting that Paul, whoever, he thought he was putting it down. He thought it
Yeah.
was airtight. This is what it is, and he realized very quickly, like nigga, what? He was just a fling, something to have fun with. Yeah, I fuck with you. Don't get me wrong. Like it's cool to have these little getaways and these little sneaky moments, but
Bruh.
you asked me to betray my country.
Are you crazy?
Like what? I don't even. Once again, we talked about this a little bit last week. I'm just now coming to the realization that I don't know you.
Hmm.
I don't even know who you are. The person I thought you were doesn't even exist, and you want
Hmm.
me to just get up and leave. Paul wilding, and we'll talk about it at the end of the episode too. Like Paul, bruh, what are you on? Like you got to tighten up.
Yeah.
Naomi told him, I'll never see you make mistakes like this. Which is part of my issue, Rachel. And I said this last week, man. You got to give us a little bit. Naomi, excuse me, not Naomi. Dr. Sammy is treating this the way I'm treating it. Like, bro, this ain't that deep. There's no way you should be doing all of this for this summertime love, for lack of better terms, right? And Martian's really on it. He's really on it. And I'm like, bro, what did I miss? Like, how are you this attached and this in love with her? I don't get it.
Marcia said, once you go black.
Hey,
But
man,
again, I said it last week.
that
When
sweet,
you
that nasty, that gushy stuff.
that gushy stuff, when you've been starving literally in the desert, and there's an oasis of water springing forth, you're gonna do everything that you can to keep it. And here is Martian trying to hold on to that little bit of water, trying to hold on to what he deems as sanity, because we know he's a sociopath at this point. We know he's crazy.
That's a fact.
So I was happy to know that Sammy wasn't as on it as Martian, that she really does love her country greater than whatever relationship they have. But also, she still gets a side eye. And I know that that decision was hard for her. It felt easier in the dean's office, but in that airport, there was a little bit more hesitation than I was sort of expecting. But you know, it is what it is. Danny's ass, I'm scared of her.
Hold on. We gotta wait on Danny. I got a question that I want to ask you.
Okay.
Actually, kind of leading into Danny, in a sense. I found myself at the point at where we are, end of episode 8. I care a lot more about the internal workings of the agency than I do anything else. And what I mean by that is, I don't really have any interest in Coyote at this point. I don't like. I get it as a storyline. I know that's how we kind of spearheaded all of this series and kicked things off. But I really don't care what happens to Coyote. Like, I really don't. I only care about what Danny got going on. I care about this Martian Sammy storyline. I care about Henry, and I care about Bosco. The Naomi and Dr. Rachel aspect is very interesting. But as you see, I'm mentioning all the CIA agents. That's what I care about. I care about the betrayal that's going on with Richardson and the strings that he's trying to pull. But the main mission, the main reason we're here, I'd have no interest in it. I don't care anymore. You know what I mean? And I guess these last 2 episodes, by the way this one ended with the general and moving Coyote and that speech he gave him, which was very menacing and very, like, it sounds like your life is about to change. On whatever this trip is about to happen, like, your life is about to change. You'll never be the same person.
Well, remember, he's only got about a day and a half left to live. So however long this journey is, it's probably taking him to his final resting place.
Yeah. Yes. By the time you get there, you'll be resting.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. And I don't see any way in which they will get it back. Matter of fact, let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about the general, right? So, Blair, I believe is her name. It's funny. You and I just talked about a good spa day. My girl Sylvia is out there getting her hair washed.
Period.
All is well in the world. And the next thing you know, Blair's just posted. Just posted up. It's just funny how the CIA or any agency for that matter could just move in and out. And blackmails her, pretty much lets her know, like, listen, if you don't do this, I've got you in the corner right now. If you don't do this for me, I'm going to tell the general that we meet here every single week. Right? I don't even know what it is that you can do, but you're close enough to where you can do something. Do you clean his glasses?
Yeah.
They ended up landing on switching out his boots and putting a bug in his boots and having her switch that out. And one of my favorite moments of the agency that was so telling, and it makes perfect sense, and Dr. Rachel couldn't understand it, but I got it completely. They're having the round table, and Dr. Rachel asks, all right, so what's the plan? Like, if something goes wrong? Like, what's your plan for her? And Henry, without batting an eye, said, what do you mean? Like, her well-being has zero concern.
No regard.
No regard. Like, you are
human life.
And we see a lot of that this episode. We just see normal, everyday people. People who just are making honest living, go into work and the whole nine, who are just pieces on the board. Mm-hmm. And as Ivan Drago said in Rocky IV, if he dies, he dies. Ugh. And that's just kind of what it is. And this is human life, and just how flippantly they can just disregard it. It's just nuts. Like the look on, shout out to Jeffrey Wright, incredible actor.
Yeah.
The confusion, like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's an innocent person. What happened? That she on her own. What you mean? What happened? She on her own. This is how it is. But and I guess it's fucked up because once you sign up for the agency, you know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
It's the people who don't have any kind of say. I never wanted this life. I didn't sign up because you got stationed. I'm talking about Danny now. Because you got stationed at a site where my daughter works, and now because my daughter got nominated for something that you need and you want, I've got to die as a mom. Like that. Just think about how crazy that 6 degrees of separation can really get you killed.
Yeah.
It's insane to me.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating. But I don't know why they thought Sylvia was going to be on it. And shout out to the general. They made mention of how cautious he is. You can't even get around with him with the cell phone. He changes out burners every few days. You know he got ears and eyes everywhere. And he was already suspecting that the Americans were involved when Alexei came.
Exactly.
So he knew, you got to know, I do this too, right? You know, they say magicians never share their tricks, right? Like, I know how to do this as well. So I know what the next step looks like. So I know you're probably going to try to tap into somebody close to me. If I was you, I would go to her. I know she's going to be doing some funny shit. I'm going to keep my eye on her. You got to go. Popped her shit. It's over. It was just fascinating to me.
5 years, but he immediately knew. And you know what? Again, we've said it time and time again. This show, to fully understand and to catch everything, quote unquote, it requires a rewatch. Because on the rewatch, or on the initial, I didn't pay any attention to when he comes out of the makeshift sauna and says, "Did you do something? Sylvie, what did you do? Oh, to your hair maybe?" I knew that she had been in the salon. I knew that she had met with Blair.
Oh, shit. Ow. Oh.
It's that completely.
I did too until you just said it.
You did too.
It's so subtle. This show, that's brilliant. That's brilliant writing.
It went over my head. And then so when I was watching it this morning to, just go over the notes that I had, I sat up and said, oh, he always knew. You always knew that Sylvia was compromised. When they said, when they were preparing Alexei, that he has eyes everywhere. And clearly you do. So maybe somebody else in that salon that Sylvia doesn't know was working there and listening and also understands English. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just always knew. And the way that he set her up, Sylvia, I feel bad for her because, and that is what these people will do. You will just be collateral. It is what it is. To your point, pieces on the board. But Sylvia is not Alexei. She don't have no poker face. I'm a secretary, and literally just a secretary, although trusted. I've been working with him for 5, almost 6 years, but I'm not a good sneaker. She looked guilty every time we saw her after that meeting. She looked like she was up to something or hiding something or afraid. And if you go back and look at last week, when we essentially meet her, she's very calm. She has an easy, a laissez-faire way about her. She was laughing at the jokes with, in regards to Alexei propositioning the general and this, that, and the third. Like, her energy and demeanor was just very different. So even that alone to somebody like the general would be a trigger. So maybe if he didn't know at first, say he doesn't have eyes in the salon. I'm watching how you're moving, and now I know that you've done something. And again, these boots, we've already talked about, or it's been explained to us that he's a master. He knows everything. He doesn't miss shit. You don't think that this man, trained in the ways of war by the KGB and this, that, and the third, won't feel a difference in weight, even if it is barely an ounce of his shoe? If I have to move different, even the way that when they put the boots on Sylvia, this isn't the walk of they're too big, I'm trying to hold my feet in them. It's clearly something going on with the boot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there would have just been no way for him not to have caught that. He set her up.
It's
How long? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's funny how people always joke about technology and the government
Hmm.
in general. Like, oh, somebody, the feds watching, feds listening, somebody,
They are.
nobody ever takes it seriously. Yeah, like we know this and we joke about it, but when it's time to take it seriously, you don't. Sylvia, you should know more than anyone how seriously he takes his security and his
Hmm.
protection and privacy.
Hmm.
You gotta know. You probably been watched. Wait, you probably been watched for these 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Truth be told, like your whole routine, your whole pattern, what time you wake up, the
Hmm.
way you pick out your clothes for work, where you shop for those clothes, like all of this is known information because I've had somebody watch you. There's a line Biggie had. He said, "Got lawyers watching lawyers, so I don't go broke."
Yeah.
Like I'm so cautious that I'm paying other lawyers to watch my lawyers
Hmm.
because I want to make sure that ain't none of y'all getting over. So that's how the general moves, and you said it in a great way, Rachel. She just isn't built for that life.
Yeah.
Your poker face sucks. I know a lot of people talk about their facial expressions, and I can't hide what I'm thinking because my face says it all and the whole nine. Alexa's whole nerve, or excuse me, Sylvia's whole nerves were just shot.
Shot.
And to Dr. Rachel's point, maybe you should have a little bit more concern about who it is you're putting in there. Because what's the point? I
Mm.
know it's a shot in the dark and that's all you got, so you got to shoot it. There's 1 second on the shot clock. You got to put the shot up. I get it. But this is going to result in this woman dying because
Yep.
she is not built the way y'all are built in this room.
Yep.
There's a great moment with Blair and Dr. Rachel in the towards the end of the episode when they have like their assessment or their debriefing or their therapy session because somebody just died off a decision you made. Somebody you had
With
contact with.
no
How do you feel about
information.
that? Yeah, how do you feel about that? I don't care if it's my fault. I'm not thinking about that. You think I go to sleep thinking about that? I'll go to sleep thinking about I have no access to Coyote anymore
Hmm.
with the straight face. And it's just crazy how people are just built. Their emotional intelligence and
Yeah.
what they can attach and detach from. Like that woman dying is whatever. I don't care about that. She doesn't mean anything to me. She's not real to me.
Sociopath.
Insane.
The lot of
Insane. And Dr. Rachel got to be like, what the fuck is going on here?
and that's it. I think we've watched Dr. Rachel obviously be very cerebral, but to me, this is the first time where she is like, "Oh, all these people are fucking crazy."
Mm-hmm.
I know what this is. I know what it takes in disassociation and this, that, and the third. Howsoever, it's no regard for other human life. It's no nothing. Are we kidding? Are y'all
Mm-hmm.
okay? So shout out to her, but R.I.P. Sylvia, because she didn't stand a chance in hell.
Chance had a chance, but she was
Even
gone.
you are an animal person.
Mm-hmm.
Even, even the dogs barking at her, who we ain't never heard them dogs bark before.
Mm-hmm.
Animals are sensitive to energy, this, that, and the third. So you got your nervous ass over
So
here
I tell you, don't be
making in your
nervous.
boots. Every little thing let the general know that Sylvia had betrayed him, and that's crazy
Yeah.
and
She didn't stand a
unfortunate.
chance. And they did a great job of making us think that she might. And then as soon as you said that, I'm still blown away by the hair because he specifically said hair, not your clothes, nothing. Because I know your ass is at the salon. I know who you were at the salon with.
Yep,
Yeah, something changed, huh? Yeah, okay.
yep. I
Man,
could
gee,
not
brilliant,
believe that.
brilliant,
Oh, I could not believe that. And I was like,
brilliant.
I don't know how I missed that, but he knew.
He, listen, chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
Um, the
Let me
general on
ask
top
you,
of it. Go ahead.
do you think that this act exacerbated um taking Coyote from the dungeon? Or
Yeah,
expedited, not exasperated.
absolutely, for sure,
Okay.
for sure.
Because we
Between
really,
between Alexi's visit and this, like, oh yeah, now I know for sure what y'all trying to do.
hmm,
It's over for you,
it's
buddy.
time. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's over for you, buddy. That's just what it is. You mentioned Danny earlier. Her duty so Rose is who she's expecting to be next in line for this trip to Iran.
Yeah.
And she's talking on the phone to Naomi. Naomi's saying, "Do what you've been trained to do." Like, once again, I'm not there to do your job for you. You got to figure this out. This is all on you. This is part of the CIA. If not, there's plenty of jobs out there for you. So we see her invite Rose over for a night of work. And Danny, just being great at getting information out of people, finds out that, and Rose is kind of beating around the bush because I know you wanted to go, Danny, but you didn't get asked. You know how it is. Like,
Yeah.
two friends going for the same position, one of them don't get it. It's a weird.
Yeah.
It can be a weird little thing.
It's definitely a weird thing. And we cool, but I don't really know you like that. So I don't know how you got to take this news. So I got to beat around the bush. I got to see sort of how you move, this and the third, what you say, how you
Very,
react.
very interesting when she said, "I didn't have to lick his butthole."
Yeah.
Not yet, at least, because it's. I'm sure there's a little bit of regret in Danny saying, "Had I just went ahead and went with it, we wouldn't be having these conversations." And the second part is, a lot of people in this field accept the fact that they might have to do something a little strange to get to where they need to get. There's a lot of shit. And listen, and I don't think it should be shamed. Like, honestly, I know in real time right now, a lot of people are talking about the Joey Taylor, Fox News, or Fox Sports situation and everything else is going on with that. That's a whole nother, that's a frequency, another week in the books conversation more than we got, y'all. But we see this type of stuff happening. It's like, that's what I got to do to kind of get ahead. I don't, listen, men do, listen, all right, well, you know what?
Sometimes
Whatever.
you got to use what you got to get what you want.
That's what I'm saying. And that's pretty much what Danny's probably thinking at that moment. And Rose is like, shit, if it came down to it for this opportunity, nigga, if I had to do something strange, I probably would have done it too, just because I can separate the two. But she ends up going out. They have a crazy time, which makes me think, are these agents, do they take these drugs? Are they given drugs to see how they
Yes.
react to them? I'm sure they have to, right?
Yes. Remember, part of the investigation into Coyote was him refusing the alcohol because he's 6 years sober.
That's good. Yeah, great point. Great callback. Yes. So I'm sure they know how to use all of this stuff and be tolerant to where they can get that information out of people.
Just
And
enough.
a simple question, something as simple as, and what she's done is, what Danny's done is made her feel comfortable, made Rose feel comfortable. And tell me something that makes you happy. What makes you sad? And she gets something real. My mom got MS. She wants to euthanize herself in Sweden. Our family's Catholic. We don't believe in that. Boom, there's your end right there. Naomi finds out, bet. I'm going to roll with you. Because we think of Naomi as just a handler. We think of Owen as just a handler. They're trained CIA agents as well. They just have a different skill set, right? They don't go in the field. But we still know how to move pieces around also. Brilliant plan to disguise themselves as Assist UK. We can help you with this. And Danny's realizing, like, hold on. Like, by the time everything's finished and they're in the car, you about to kill this woman. And Naomi laughing about it, like, nah, doctor in Sweden's going to do it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you getting too close.
Yeah.
We're getting too close. And that's it. Like I said, it's a theme because we see Martian. We're going to talk about Martian this episode. Getting way too close. Just not being able to separate what's going on, which Naomi told her. And there was a couple bars in there. Our enemies, shut up, get out the way, or die. You should put that on the website. Oh, we make sure people know. CIA is not fucking around with you. What did you think about Danny and her, as Naomi called it, her shit performance at the house and her whole... Were you surprised that she had difficulty with this compared to, I'm okay getting this dude slapped around and his wife and family getting threatened last week? When I'm in control of it, it's cool. When I'm not, it seems a little bit unethical.
I'm scared of Danny. First off, I did not used to be, but she is too much of a wild card, and she is green essentially, you know. So the first thing, getting Rose drunk and disarming her, chef's kiss. That's what you do. Again, use what you got to get what you want. I'm even gonna kiss you because, hey, we on coke, whatever.
Shout out to Katy Perry, man.
Yeah, you know, she loved it. So there's
Rose is going.
Rose was going.
Might have been a little finger action that we didn't see in the show. That's neither here nor there.
I, I'm sure they had a lovely night. I'm sure they had a lovely evening. So Danny being unprepared for the Assist UK was not shocking to me. It was a flash of we know her to be naive and inexperienced in this. You spoke about the control and setting up Sam, is that the boyfriend's name? To harass the other student.
Oh, what was it, Eric or something like that?
Sure.
Either way, the dude she fucking.
Yes. That's control. I'm essentially hands off of that. I'm not involved in that. I can't be tied to it. This, that, and the third. I don't have to lie about anything. I wasn't there. I'm not a witness. I didn't see shit. I don't know shit. Even though I set it up, there's a level of plausible deniability that I have in this particular situation. Whereas when she's riding with Naomi to go set up the play on Rose's mom, now this is me in the action. She's not been in the action since she was in the car with Dr. Reza. So now, again, this is the next time we see you. I mean, we seen her in the club, disarming Rose. But now, this is the harder part. This is where it gets real. This is where it's intimate and a little harder to disassociate because you don't have alcohol and cocaine to help you with that. So I think that aside from developing this closer relationship with Rose, it just spoke to me to her naivety and her inexperience in the field, in the organization, in this role. And we know she has an interesting dynamic or tricky relationship with her mother. There is something there. So the thought of having to facilitate a euthanization for Rose's mom, I think that caught her off guard and did something to her. It triggered her in some capacity because of there's something with her own mother that is in the back of her head. Remember, she called her mother after the Reza incident in regards to, do you ever think about dad, blah, blah, blah. So there's something there. It's something about that mama that I think is going to come back in the last two.
Jimmy McNulty, one of the most simple, and it's funny, I had this conversation recently about The Wire, the quotes. The quotes being so simple, my favorite show. The quotes are they're not like super profound, but the beauty of it is that the show is so well written that you just remember the moments. You remember what was going on and why it was such a big deal, and that's why those quotes mean something. It's the message and what was really going on behind it. And there's a moment in season 4 where McNulty tells Bodie, "Play in the dirt, you get dirty."
Yeah.
Like, that's just what it is. Like, it's so simple, but that's just the truth. You play in the dirt, you get dirty. Don't be surprised by what happens to you because you live a certain way. Danny, this is your life now.
For sure.
You have to be comfortable getting dirty. Everybody else is around you. Naomi's been dirty. She's filthy. She's cool with that. Right? And whatever they need to do, that's why they bring in the Dr. Rachels of the world to make sure everybody's on balance, or, as Martian mentioned in the first episode, to keep them insane.
Yep.
Because the way Blair talked to Dr. Rachel about, I'm more worried about not having access to Coyote than that woman dying. That's insanity. The way Henry just couldn't comprehend Dr. Rachel asking, what about her well-being? Like, what?
Yeah.
Well, why would that be a concern of mine? I'm genuinely confused on why that's a question. Danny, this is your life. You have to know that.
Yeah.
And that's why Naomi keeps telling her, if you're not comfortable, is this too far for your morals? I think, what did she call her, Miss Tiggy Winkle? Like, if you can't handle Miss Tiggy Winkle, then there's other jobs out there for you, bruh.
Yeah.
This is light work. I'm telling you right now, this is light.
This is easy.
Yeah, so yeah, you in it. You a part of it. To your point, Rachel, you a part of it. But guess what? This is the dirt over here. You're going to get dirty. And I don't know what you thought this was, but this is a rude awakening. Once again, 5 years from now, Danny doesn't hesitate with Risa.
For sure.
Danny doesn't hesitate doing what she needs to do to get where she needs to go. But I love that her character, because we get to see that intro. We get to see that person on the ground level to see, all right, how are you going to shape up? Like, how do you end up like everybody? It's like a company that's kind of cultish. And everybody drinking the Kool-Aid. You get there, you knew from the streets, like, what the fuck is going on here? Why y'all all so chipper? And then over time, it breaks you down.
That's it.
And now you on some. I know a couple companies who I'm not going to mention. I don't need them at my front door. But
I was gonna say, pause. I started Severance. Well, I finished season 1 of Severance, and that is immediately what I
so Helly, right? So Helly. And if you haven't seen, I'm sorry, y'all. Quick sidebar about Severance. Quick sidebar.
Season 2 is coming next week.
Season 2 coming next Friday. Helly is. It's hard to understand, especially in the first episodes, what's going on. There's two type of world. They're aware of it. That they aware they have an outie, as they call them in the innie. Their thoughts are separated. And Helly is always the example, because I was thinking of her when I said it. I didn't know if you watched Severance, so
yeah.
Where you're like, she's still trying to put in that resignation. She's still trying to leave. Like, I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? I do not want to do this. And after time, you're going to look at, all right, she's going to end up being like Mark. She's going to end up being like Irv. She's going to end up being, Petey ended up getting up out of there. But to the point where this is your job now. This is what you do. You accept the fact that this is what your life is versus trying to fight it. And that's what I think of when I think of Danny. Like, you're going to get to a point where you just accept it. This is what you do. And once again, not to make a ton of reference, as Mo likes to call me, reference rich. It's a great moment in the movie Heat. When they finally meet Pacino's character, who plays the cop, and De Niro's character, who plays the bank robber, have a moment to meet and really just talk it out face to face. And pretty much said, like, if this doesn't work, I got to figure out something else. And one of them said, I don't know how to do nothing else. He said, me neither. This is the life. This is what ain't no coming back from this.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not about to go bag groceries. I'm not about to go do whatever. I'm not going to work, security at this place. Like, I'm a CIA agent. I'm in it.
That's it.
I don't know how to do nothing else. So, Danny, tighten up. This is it, man.
Shout out to Booby Miles, who also doesn't know how to do anything else. We just pulling references.
Shout out to you for the Friday night. I hope Derek Luke's doing all right, man. You hilarious for that. All right, so Danny, tighten up, man. You gotta get this shit figured out. I wonder how that's gonna play, but somehow, some way, she's gonna end up in the Ron, I'd imagine.
Because Rose is gonna go be with her mother to die, or at least be mourning her mother.
Oh, for sure. Before we talk about, I guess, Martian big picture, because a lot of the rest of this episode is really Martian based. I want to talk about him getting home in the middle of the night, and you have a young naked Daniel who's ready to squabble up. With the fists all the way out. Dukes is out like the Fighting Irish. Shout out to the Bucks. IO, can't leave you hanging. That moment, what did you think about that? Because he handled that a lot better than most people who are parents would. Like, your daughter's in your house handling business, and you don't seem to bat an eye about it.
Again, Martian Paul Brandon is a sociopath. Martian is probably, I don't want to say the king, because we see he's having some difficulty, but he is very good at disassociation. Yes, Poppy is my daughter. Poppy is grown. Poppy has found herself in a compromising position. She's been in danger. You know what? She might need to get her rocks off. She surely
not at my crib, though.
Her mother's house. She ain't got no damn money. Who knows who this guy is? He probably
Daniel need to step it up.
Yeah, but these are 18-year-olds.
That's fair. I was wilding in my teen. I was wilding in my teenage years. Especially when you are in that position, like you said, Rachel, no money, no access, like you were doing whatever you can to get your nut off.
That's it. That's it. Who knows when this nigga dad is coming home? He's probably been gone for a day or two. So I feel okay with you coming up in here.
It's
Now, the
you don't
issue is get
go ahead.
Poppy her own little flat next door. Knowing what I know about my father, even if I don't know everything, I'm probably not having every Tom, Dick, and Harry, shout out to RP Senior, up in that house. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
You can't come up in here. Maybe we could go to my mama's house. Maybe there's somewhere close, but yeah. I understood him. What can I say? Bitch.
Yeah, the proud
Yeah.
of you thing was funny. It's
Yeah.
like, yo, what you mean you proud of me? Like, turning like growing up to be a cool adult. I get
That's
it.
it.
Like, listen, I think there is something. And once again, full disclosure: Rachel and myself are not parents, but there is, I'm sure, something funny about seeing somebody that you know came from you and just
Yeah.
grow up to be their own individual. Like, what kind of human are you turning into? What kind of person are
Mm-hmm.
you going to be? And he's probably like, you know what, Pop, you pretty cool, man. I did I. We did I with you. Um, but yeah, it's just an odd thing. But Poppy, the whole point of the scene was Poppy's like, hold on, like you sound like you going away again. Like this is
Yeah.
that trauma coming back up. As soon as you get comfortable, as soon as we get good, here you are about to leave. You said this last time, and what's really going to happen? And I don't think I don't think Paul has any Paul. I don't think Martian has any plans of leaving. However, as we see, there's some interrogation going on, which we have to figure out who that is. But yeah, he knows he's in too deep,
For
and
sure.
let's just go ahead and start the whole theme and chain of events.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that Osmond said at the beginning of this episode once Dr. Sammy told him about being approached by the CIA.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very simple. He bet on you.
Yeah.
Osmond talked about Paul saying he bet on you. Like you were his big chip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You were the one. He put everything in the middle of the table and said, if all else fails, I can flip her. Because he thought it was what it was. Once again, I think I'm not betraying my country for you.
Yeah.
But he didn't know that because he was madly in love with her, as we continue to see.
Because he was betraying his for her.
Yeah, exactly. And he, Osmond, shout out to him. He told Big Dog, and he told, I think his name is pronounced Go,
Mm-hmm.
from the Beijing delegation, or Chinese delegation via Beijing. But told them what was going on and asked them to assist, and kind of get involved with it. Martian sees Richardson at the agency.
Mm-hmm.
Let's kind of figure out what's going on. He's told by Owen, he just wanted some talk about this whole China situation, the Sudan. All right, we already had this out. Told you not to really violate. You kind of stepping on my shoes. And my bigger play, Martian's big play now is not for the agency. It's for his good. I want to be Boss Sammy. I'm trying to make this a real thing. Naomi realizes that Martian's too close.
For sure.
Does her own investigating and realizes, hold on, you've been looking up information on her before you said that you ran into her.
Yep.
Once again, I said it earlier. I've never seen you make mistakes like this. That's a very telling, for as detailed and thorough as Martian is. That's a very telling statement. Never. I've been your handler for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
You're not my handler anymore? Yeah, because you're not in the field anymore, bruh.
I got seniority. You
Yeah.
can't tell me I'm not in the field.
Yeah, my man opened the door on her and said, nah. What was really fascinating, though, Dr. Sammy calls in to the line that she knows being tapped, sets up another meeting with the university.
Yeah.
They know what's going on. You got Bosco, you got Henry, and you got Martian there. Henry gets a phone call, right? And this is the moment. If you watch this scene, the acting, the facial expression acting was incredible. Because it's at that moment where you realize, like, I'm in the room, but I'm out the room.
But I'm out the room. Yeah.
I'm in the room, but I'm out the room. Henry gets the phone call. Got a bogey from Beijing that's coming up. So they know right away. Sammy's not coming through that door. He tells
Yeah.
Bosco. They both have this, like, subtle look at Martian. And he looks like he's seen a ghost. He
Yeah.
looks like he's seen a ghost. We have Gold come in and pretty much lay it on the line. Like, listen, I'm acting on behalf of Dr. Samia Zahir. your clumsy attempt to flip her is not gonna work.
That's it.
Listen, we got stuff going on. We expect you to do nothing. Don't get involved. Bosco, big dog. Nothing is pretty fucking expensive, bruh. And he gets some information, some intel about two Russians working for the Department of Energy for the U.S. Which he got from Richardson.
Which is crazy.
Rachel, I just laid out a ton of stuff that happened.
You did.
What are your thoughts on Martian, where he is, and his position in the game right now? Because you went from big dog to you caged up. You caged up. Yeah, she don't want no pup. She want a big dog.
And he's a puppy right now. You know, I think two things. I do believe he's genuinely surprised that he was not able to flip Sammy.
He's shocked.
I shocked the shit out of him.
Chris Brown Carucci photo. Shocked. Like that look you get, like, oh, word. Like, that's what it is.
That's how you do me.
That's how you doing me? After all this time? That's exactly what that was. He's stunned. He could not believe it.
There is that. And we know that he and Richardson have been playing each other, essentially. I think that even though it appears everything is going wrong on Martian's end, I have to believe that there's another play at work. And there have been things happening that we don't know about.
From Martian?
From Martian.
Martian got another play set up, you're saying?
He has another play.
Interesting.
I believe that. I think
he's too deep in it. I think he lost. I think he lost in the sauce.
To a degree. But we know him to be crazy. We've known him to be one step ahead, essentially, up until this point. This is the only time so far that it hasn't worked out. I learned how to get my ass kicked. I knew to ask such and such about Sammy. I knew to do all of these other things. I might be inclined, not even. He's got seniority in the industry. He knows there's a paper trail. So maybe I'm not flubbed my dates. Maybe everything that I've exposed is intentional. And maybe just, and this is far. I'm off the dome with this.
Yeah, let's get it.
What if Sammy playing him in the U.S. is the play?
It's not crazy.
It's not crazy.
It makes sense for him to have another play. It just, how he's acting doesn't match who we learned for him to be, or who he is. Yeah, I said that right. Whatever. This is all. But I guess my question would be, what's the play? That's a ballsy play. Like, what's the end result? What are you looking to gain from this?
Maybe the same role Richardson is going after, Paul is fashioning for himself.
You think so? All right. You think Brandon, aka Paul, aka Martian, you think he officially wants to be inside? You think he wants to be a paper pusher?
He wants to be behind a desk because he wants a life, even if it's not genuinely this great love with Sammy. Now I've gotten a taste. Now it's fresh in my mind, the salt of the sea. I want to be able to do that. And the reality is, continuing to be out in the field in this capacity, undercover, I can't build these kind of relationships. When am I going to get another 6 years somewhere? I might have a semester at best.
Now, all right, so what you just said now has me thinking about, first and foremost, the meat. He's waiting, gonna go as in the garage. And Go tells him, listen, man, when you lose, you just move on. That's just what it is.
But I can't.
And Martian knows I'm not going, bro. You did not come up with this play on you by yourself. You had help.
For sure.
And Go looks at him and said, "Are you prepared to die for her?" Shout out to that fame. I don't know if y'all remember that fame. You prepared to die for this pussy? I am. I am. That nigga was not playing about that
At
woman.
all. How I like my man.
Why was why was first of all, is Go dead or did he just put him to sleep? You can't kill him, right? Like that'd be crazy. And kind of feeding into my point, that'd be extremely reckless if you kill that man. But how you gonna attack him and that's gonna get out anyway? I don't know, man. I don't know, Rachel.
I might have
he
just
moving
gotta send the
crazy.
message. Hey, collateral is collateral. We know y'all don't care about human life if it's not your people. Pieces on the board.
So he gonna bring that to you think he might bring that to Bosco and say, yo, I got Go, what can we do with this? Listen, next episode is gonna be a very interesting closed door meeting between Bosco, Henry, and Martian.
For sure.
I cannot wait to witness and see what's going on with that. But the whole reason I'm even questioning this whole parking lot fight, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem like something Martian would do, which makes me think maybe there is no other play. Even though what you said makes sense, maybe he just lost it. He's just gone. He's just grasping at straws right now, grasping for air. He's just moving recklessly. It just doesn't seem right. Like, bruh, like Naomi said, but maybe they're intentionally showing us this to throw us off the scent, Rachel.
Uh-huh.
There's too many references. Because if Naomi's never seen him like that, it almost makes you think it's on purpose.
Yeah.
Because once again, as I've kept saying this, I just don't believe it. I don't believe you in love with the woman like that. I believe you love her, don't get me wrong. But like this, you throwing it all away, you risking your whole career, your whole reputation. Like, bro, this just doesn't make sense. There's got to be something else going on. There has to be.
I hope
Dr. Sammy was putting on you like that, my nigga.
He ain't never had that Sudanese.
This is wild.
It's
oh,
a
man.
lot. It would be. It would be a lot. I think that there's another play. Maybe Gao was also in on it. We know that he's working with Richardson. Maybe he was doing his own double and triple work his damn self. Nobody here is innocent. Nobody is who we think they are. So I think that you have to look at every character and essentially expect them to be on some bullshit unless they're a true like lay person. But even Poppy be on bullshit. So literally everybody.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Everybody is on one.
That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. I just shout out to the show just for keeping us guessing and really not knowing what's what. I did love a line. Speaking of that, I guess that's a perfect way to tie in Go possibly being involved because there's a moment between Henry and Bosco, and Bosco asks, "How did the Chinese get so far ahead of us on this one?" And Henry looks at them with the deadpan, like this one, like they ahead of us on everything, which is
crazy.
It's real social commentary. And they always playing catch up. I guess my thing is, and another bar, I'm sorry, from Go that I liked. My advice, find a new fuck. I'm going to start using that. I'm going to start telling people, go find a new fuck. Because this ain't it. And also, I've mentioned Richard Gere, big fan of Richard Gere. He hasn't had a lot of isolations this season, moments where he can clear out, but when he does, he getting buckets because the meeting and him playing the cat and mouse with Go about the information. Oh, you want us to do nothing? Nothing's expensive. I'm in the information business. I buy it, I create it, I sell it. I bought the phone that tracked Bin Laden. You hear me? I'm flexing on you.
Yeah.
So show me what you got. I just love Richard Gere and his acting in this. But mainly, I guess the perfect way to end this episode, Rachel, who has Martian laid up in the hospital? Who is questioning him? What agency is that? And why are they asking about the general? And how does he get caught? We have 2 episodes to figure this out.
I don't think him being caught is not a part of his master plan.
You don't?
I
Okay.
don't.
Part of me thinks it might be.
I no 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 no. I do think him being caught is a part of
Okay.
his
Okay.
plan.
Got you.
It's not by chance that he's here beat up. Notice the commentary. You've answered everything seemingly correctly. This, that, and the third. I think it is another faction of a U.S.
That's.
organization that has him.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh. Okay. So we stand with the U.S., just not the CIA.
Yep. Because you've been moving so quote unquote recklessly, to your point, you've been doing this, you have your hand in all these different cookie jars.
Mm.
Say, bruh, let me reel you back in. Let me remind you that you don't just work for them.
Or does Richardson set this up once he finds out that Gold got choked out?
Plausible. Plausible.
But I still agree with you. Brandon knows that Richardson would set it up if he choked him out. Because it doesn't make sense why you would put your hands. Once again, I don't mean to harp on this or beat the dead horse. It's done. It just doesn't make sense for you to go all out for Dr. Sammy if that's all it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If that's all it is, it just doesn't make sense. You're more cautious. You make a career out of accepting things that
Yeah.
can't be.
Yeah.
So why is she in the show? Maybe they intentionally haven't shown us what that connection is and how it's so deep. This isn't the first time you've gone somewhere and fell for a woman. I don't know, man. There's something tricky going on. There's something tricky going on, Rachel.
Tricky.
And I actually think that you are right. I think you're right. I think he's setting all this up. He has to be.
He has to be. And maybe, just maybe, Sammy doesn't know or truly didn't know who he was in this, and the third. But low key, maybe she knew a little more than she let on. I've been saying that she either is real aloof and dumb, or she's playing dumb. It's one of the two, you know. So I'm holding on to that thought that there is a glimmer of hope or belief for me that Sammy is not as innocent as it's unfolding her to be. I don't know.
It's all. It's. I'm giving the show the credit of believing that they are setting us up for a really clever twist in these last two episodes.
For sure.
Once again, we do see the final scene with Brandon still, and like this is wild to me. He is not giving up, which is once again goes to your point. Mm-hmm. You meet her at the airport. Osmond's right there, bruh.
Right.
Now we see now. Keep in mind, they share a kiss. This nigga's crying. That nigga had a glory tear. He kissed that woman, had a glory tear come down because is this nigga really that lost in the sauce?
You know how many niggas been crying and still on that bullshit?
All of them.
Still lying and crying.
All of it, man.
That's
the same tear. Legend has it that same tear has been rolling down cheeks for centuries. It's the same tear that's remanufactured over and over.
Come on, man.
I don't know, man. It just seems like he moving. He in plain sight. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just want to get the answer. We're at the point where I'm just repeating myself. So I think we said everything we need to say. Is there anything else that you have to say about the episode, Rachel?
Nope. That's it. I said it at the top. I do believe Osman is in love with Dr. Sammy. I'm gonna hold on to that. I think that we're gonna see in these last two an attempted kiss or another show of concern that's been uncharacteristic of what we've known and what we've seen of him before. It's gonna be something. It's not just I want to protect us, little sis. It's not that. It's just a little something else that's on it that makes me think that there's a little bit more to it.
I don't know. I just thought about the wood. Like when you say he was an attempted kiss, I can see her backing up and him just doing it. Like, you let that nigga Terry hit. Let got that nigga Terry Bone. I know I look better than him. Oscar ain't going for that. He gonna be salty. Like, what? How you gonna back up for my
And
shit?
that's part of why he's so pissed about how whack Paul is.
Yeah, and listen, and I'll attest to this, and I'm sure this isn't just a man thing. I don't think it's just that, but everybody knows what it's like to see somebody, especially somebody you rock with, and then you see the person they chose, like that's that nigga.
This what you want?
Oh man, like all right, say less, but yeah, just interesting. But Rachel,
Yes.
as always, you got my brain rolling. Don't forget it either. I want to say last week or maybe the week before, I did mention that Henry has a play as well.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah,
Oh,
two
for
episodes, man. I'm really, Rachel. I know we have other shows that we're gearing up for, and we're watching and things like that for the first quarter. We got y'all, but I'm really glad that you sent me the trailer for this and said, "Hey, are you interested in this show?" Because I did not hear about it, and you happened to catch it the first week it was on air.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we were able to actually start this because I'm very fascinated and invested into how this season is going to end. So shout out to you. Another great episode that we got, y'all. We appreciate all y'all for listening, for tuning in. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. Please follow the Instagram page because we're going to start making, we're going to get in line with the rest of technology. We're going to start putting out these 60 to 30 to 90-second clips and stuff like that. So please make sure you are following the page. We Got Y'all Pod on Instagram. And that's all I got, man. Check us out, all our other platforms. We will see y'all next week to discuss episode 9, the penultimate episode, which are usually my favorites. So I'm very excited. I might be up at midnight on Thursday trying to see what's going on. But Rachel, I love you. Always a pleasure.
I love you. Always, always, always a pleasure. Again, like Kieron said, thank y'all for watching and listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I'm gonna do better about posting, guys. I need an intern. I need an intern.
Unpaid intern. Unpaid intern.
Right. I hope send you some flowers or something. I don't know. But yeah, thank y'all. We love y'all. Have a good week. Y'all be safe. Peace out.
We got y'all.
We got y'all. For sure.